The other day I was in a restaurant and the waitress was in her 60s, early 60s, and she was very upset. She said, I had mentioned to these new hires that the sweet and low needs filled. And do you think they've done that? So I said to her, you made an observation. You told them that those needed filled, but you didn't tell them to do that. They're not being disrespectful, but I bet if you go back and tell them, would you please do that, they would readily do it. She came back and she said, you know, it worked. They filled up the sweet and low, and they smiled while they did it. So when faculty are making up their syllabi, they really need to be very specific, telling them they can be creative, because they do want to be creative, but you must put in exactly what you want. Don't just assume that they will know what you want them to do. They also like a lot of feedback, so they may even email you and ask you particular questions because they are not really sure in what you want to do. Just consider that as clarification, and you will get less emails if you make your syllabus very, very specific in what you intend them to do. At times it can become frustrating for baby boomers who have taught for many, many years and have always had their syllabus ready and have had no problems, and now see all these different changes, especially with online and internet courses. You have to put a lot of detail in with specifics, things that you may have figured that everybody just assumed. This may not be an assumption that a younger generation would have. So rather than getting frustrated, if you do it right the first time and put all the details in, then it will make your life less frustrating and less anxiety-provoking for you. In the classroom, faculty are now considered facilitators, and we want more collaboration with our students. And to get the discussion going sometimes can be difficult. A great technique is to divide your classroom up and put a younger generation with an older generation. The younger generation just loves mentoring. They appreciate it. Many feel that the younger generation is disrespectful, but when you look at them, they really value the older generation's knowledge. They want skills and they want to be helped. And mentoring seems to be the one area they just really do appreciate. So if you put a younger person with an older person, they really share ideas, and the younger person does listen to the elder as a mentor. And this seems to work quite well, and it might be a technique you could try. When we look at class attendance, we have seen a big difference in how students are attending. I teach in the nursing class, and I would say for years and years, we never ever had anybody miss a class. It could be terrible weather, it could be a big snowstorm, and we would have 100% attendance. That is no longer the case. As we have students as second careers and are just changing their major, they will say that they never worked this hard before and they're not doing it again, and they attend half the classes. So sometimes as faculty we need to change. And for instance, we made our nursing program web enhanced. One day they are on campus and the other day we have internet. And that has worked remarkably. We have very good attendance. So we had to adapt to a different generation of student. I had mentioned that our younger generation sometimes gets frustrated with the older generation who love to go into a lot of detail and tell a lot of stories. But if you put them in small groups, they are more open to the stories. And there goes that mentoring, where they want to see how this applies to them. And they are respectful of that. Gaming seems to be a very popular strategy in education now, and we're finding that our younger generation loves to be involved. They love games, they love that collaboration. They do not want that talking head, that sage on the stage of using a PowerPoint and just doing a lecture to them. They want to be involved. The older generation, though, seems to still like that PowerPoint. They like that lecture. They don't want to feel like maybe they're going to make a mistake or look silly. And that is something that we have to address. But once you get into the game and everyone gets more comfortable, hopefully you'll have more collaboration and make it more fun, because that is what the younger generation likes. They like it to be more fun. And hopefully we're having much learning happen with our fun.